It's Gretch, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Fruity Slicer, specifically for drum loops. I will be doing another video for whatever melody loops, non-drum loops. So the first thing you want to do if you just have a raw sample is go here, and by the way, while you're watching this video and also while you're using FL Studio, while you're trying to learn anything in FL Studio, you need to pay attention to this upper left hand corner. As you can see it while I kind of move over things, it changes. So it's going to tell you what everything does. So if I go over here, as you can see, this is telling me sample. So when you click on this, it will allow you to do a couple things. These two options here are because I already have a sample load in, but if I were to click load sample from the beginning, I will simply select the sample I want, which of course is already in here. Now it will be preset to a couple things. So we'll start here. It'll tell you the file name. It will then tell you how many beats or the beats per minute it is at. So I've gone ahead and set my project tempo to 140 as well. So it does not, I don't want you to think that it just conforms to the project. You can do that, but this is just how it'll start. And then the length at 140 beats per minute is 14 beats. So if we come across here, the next thing after sample is slicing. So you have dual auto slicing, and it basically looks for these very hard hits, and if you're using more of a melody, it applies less to the drums, but if you're using more of a melody or just a general loop, melodic loop, it will not pick up a lot of stuff. Next one is medium slicing, which as you can see here is going to pick out, and on here it's really just right in here, I believe, without listening to it, it's like a little open hat. And so it's just going to be a little more particular, and obviously sharp will further increase that, and it will break it down into just kind of differences in how the original sample that whoever created this used would just kind of break that down further into separate parts of that sample that aren't really separate sounds. So I would recommend medium auto slicing. Next thing you have here is sort of manual things that you can do. So you can just put it on a sixth of a beat to 1 beat, or just have no slicing, which of course will give you no slicing. Is there a point to this? I don't really know. I don't think so. So, but for now we're going to leave it on medium auto slicing. Zero cross checks. I don't even know what the hell this is. Not relevant. Open it in Edison. If you don't know what Edison is, it is just an audio editor that's more general than this. It can do actually a lot of what Fruity Slicer does. So I would actually recommend doing that from a more general standpoint. But Fruity Slicer is a little bit quicker if you know specifically, like, you want to take a drum loop and turn it into, or if you want to get individual sounds out of a drum loop. So next thing you have are just stretching methods. So we're going to take a look over here to the I don't know what to call this section, but that's what I did earlier. Just set that up to 0. So the first one, PS, is pitch shift. Once again, if you look up in the upper left hand corner, it tells you exactly what that is. So this will shift the pitch up or shift the pitch down. And then the next one you have is, I believe it's time shift. It doesn't actually tell you, it says fit length, but this will essentially affect the time. So if I do that, I can increase, what it's going to do is when you increase the time, you lower the beats per minute, and then when you decrease time, you increase the beats per minute, because it's the same amount of beats, but it will always be 14 beats, just in less time, which will then increase the beats per minute. And then the next thing you can do here is just the view on the spectrum is just going to change this to a different just a different way to view the wavelength as opposed to that. And so as you can see, this one is called dump beat to piano roll. So if I go ahead and open the piano roll, zoom out here and ignore the gray one. Once again, that is the sort for a different tutorial. It will put each slice, as you did, the area between each red line, it will place as one note, and it will number it. So it's not necessarily a note. Keep in mind, these are just slices. It numbers it and replaces the note. However, if we look at B4, I think C5. Well, then, I don't know how to play the piano, so but C5 on your MIDI keyboard or the corresponding key if you somehow play the piano with your computer keyboard. But on your MIDI keyboard, like if I C5 there, that will play the first sound. If I go up, well, that's up a white key. If I go up a black key there, I can go. So that's kind of, and then dump to piano roll. It's automatically doing that. I don't know if. Oh yeah, here it is. Auto dump. If that was not selected, then I would have to manually press this button, and it would do this. So moving over here, you have the envelope, I guess you could say, a very rudimentary envelope, and instead of ADSR, it is just AD. So if you don't know what ADSR is, it's attack, decay, sustain, and release. This, as you can see, just has attack and decay, and basically tells you up in there basically what attack is. So their description is slices fade in. Attack is a time parameter for the amount of time that it will take for a sound to reach its maximum volume level, would be a way to think about it. From this point of view, it's a little different once you get into how synthesizers make sound or whatever, but for this point we'll just put it at volume level, because that's basically what it is when you're dealing with the sample. And essentially, if you increase attack, it will make it sound softer, because if you think about plucks versus pads have a really high attack, so it takes a while for the sound to fade in and get up to that maximum level. And plucks are instant, which means there's zero attack. It will, as this is now, this is, as you can see when I adjust it and hold down, it says 0 milliseconds. So basically the original sample, and you can go all the way up to 100 milliseconds. And as you can see, it will make it quieter overall. And I'll go ahead and play both just so you can kind of hear it, because I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. And then if I go all the way up, as you can see, it's much softer, and those are the two extremes, obviously. So if you just want to say you want to soften it a little bit, you can go there and maybe like that or whatever. And so decay is essentially the opposite of attack. It is slices fade out, as they say. So this, once again, is a time parameter. Sustain out of ADSR is the only one that is not a time parameter, but so decay is a time parameter, so it will soften it, but on the back end, as you can see, as opposed to softening the front end. So you can see that in the samples. So I'll go ahead and play both once again so you can hear that. So there's the original. So I'll go ahead and turn it up to the max. So that is that part. The next two things that I want to look at, animate is just see how you've got like the little, it kind of changes, like, yeah, that thing. That's all that is. If you, I would prefer to have that so you can see which slice you're actually on. And play to end is what it says. You play to the end. here is kind of the controls. Aside from these, it's also just a control for for the automatic slicing. So yeah, you can turn the low. I don't really understand why there are two, but I don't know. So basically, if you turn these both down to low, you will get 3 slices. And if you turn them both to high, you will get 35 slices. So you can kind of just adjust it to see which one. It's going to start off with them both in the middle, I believe. And that's going to get you, basically when they're both at the middle, it will be on this setting. So if you want to go sharp and then you just want it like really sharp, you can't even get sharper than that, but say it's just a more complex sound, it's not really something that you would use with drums. And so that's pretty much it. That's kind of the boring part. I do real quick want to go over basically how you actually use Fruity Slicer like practically. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is delete all these. Whoops. And actually just found out you can do that if you right click and then use the scroll wheel and scroll through those tools. Okay, but anyway, go ahead and delete. So that might be a reason, you know, if you don't want to auto dump them, that's kind of why. So if you know you're going to change it, and so I think this kick is the one I want to use. Let me. That's pretty good. So this one has the open hat in it. That's also got it. So basically, you just pick the sounds. So as you can see, when you click on the sounds, it will give you the corresponding slice number, which corresponds once again over here. We had a hat in, and that is kind of how you would take it. So let me kind of fill in all of these. I mean, but that's pretty much it. That is how you would take, you know, and you can take more. Obviously, this one's from Looperman, which once again, I have no problem with it. Absolutely recommend Looperman. I love Looperman. But this, I think, makes more sense if you're going to sample a song or try to, I guess, isolate sounds from more convoluted and noisy samples. It's kind of where I would see the practical use of Fruity Slicer. So that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching.